Cubicles and controllers, everybody. It's our 25th episode. We're a quarter way to 100.
Come on, man. You're still
100.
keeping up with this.
My goal is to get to 100 episodes with 0 viewers.
Really?
Let's do this.
100 episodes, 0 viewers. Let's see.
All right, we got some stuff to go through. We got to talk bad about your wife while she's away. Come on, you know what's up. What are you playing right now?
I'm playing Gears of War 4, and I'm rather enjoying it. I am also still close to finish with Deus Ex. Excuse me. I'm continuing Mafia 3. I haven't started it because I started that a long time ago.
10-second impression on Gears of War 4.
Multiplayer feels good. It feels a lot like the beta did, if anybody played that. Single player feels, I think it feels more like the first one. Very action-packed. They do a lot of things to differentiate the gameplay, though. Like, you're not just shooting. They interrupt it with, like, a couple motorcycle chases and other things that you do. It's overall pretty good. I thought you were supposed to pick it up.
I know. I've just not been playing anything.
Because we're supposed to get online, and you're supposed to,
I know. I'm supposed to do a lot of things, man. But my body's a temple. I got to take care of it. Anywho, we're going to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, the teaser trailer. They call it a teaser trailer, even though they show quite a bit, so it's a regular trailer. Of course, the Nintendo NX renamed to Nintendo Switch with that 3-minute trailer reveal. Both of those I'll link on the information below the video. And any other stuff that comes up along the way. So let's start with Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's been a long time coming. I think the first Red Dead Redemption came out in 2010, I believe. I might be off. 2010 or 11 maybe. And it really good game, open world, GTA-esque, but a Western. Red Dead Redemption 2, from the teaser trailer, looks like it might have a lot of the same characters. Like, it looks like a prequel. It looks like it might have John Marston and some of his old gang. But they also talked about the multiplayer and having, like, doing great multiplayer stuff with Red Dead Redemption 2. They did have multiplayer in the first one. I never played it. Yeah, if you could do train heists and bank heists in Red Dead Redemption 2, I mean, I'm already getting the game because the first one was awesome. But the second one, from a multiplayer standpoint, I'm intrigued to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I must say it's a minute-long trailer. The stuff that they show, it's beautiful looking. I mean, Rockstar pushes the systems to the limits anyways. And what they did with the last Grand Theft Auto series game, it was remarkable. And then when they upgraded to the new generation, it was even better looking. And so I'm kind of very, very much interested in how they push it to the limits with what we have right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the trailers, like, it just looked incredible. I'm looking forward to it. I remember getting a little bored by Redemption because I got sucked into doing everything on the side too. Almost everything. And eventually that takes a toll on you when you get sucked into the side missions. Hence why I didn't, I was really enjoying Witcher 3 for the same reason until into the side missions. And I was like, I'm spending too much time on this. I need to move on.
You see, that side stuff I always like it, because if I want to do it, then I do it. If I want to skip it, then I do. Now in The Witcher 2 and 3, I did probably most of the side missions, and I even went to the question marks on the map. And some of the side stuff was as fully fleshed out as some of the stuff in the main game. So it was
how those games rewards you. You actually get real rewards versus like just dinky little monetary gains. You actually earn things that help you along the way on your quest and everything.
Right.
That's why I get sucked into it. I was like, oh, what if I miss something? I have incredible FOMO when it comes to games like this. Where I was like, there's a fear of missing out on something great happening that I might not tap into if I don't do it. I'm curious to see what happens with it. I have a feeling it'll be December 2017 when we see it. They say 2017.
They said 2017, but Rockstar, a lot of times when by the time they show a trailer on something, the game is almost done. So, I mean, you could be right, or it could be.
You're correct about that.
It could be middle of next year. But either way, it's a Rockstar game. The first Red Dead was great. GTA is always great. It's gonna be a big hit.
Yeah, for sure, man. But moving on to the Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Switch.
You go.
It's interesting to me because it's the first Nintendo console I'm intrigued about since, for me, Super NES. I have not had a Nintendo console. I mean, I bought a used GameCube for a few games at the end of its lifespan, but Nintendo, I mean, the 3DS, because of some of its library, I have it, but the Switch looks interesting. Like, if they were to allow you to play 3DS games on it, and if they were to, I know right now they say they're not, but they said they weren't. It wouldn't play 3DS cartridges. That doesn't mean
yeah. There's nothing. It's still pending on the downloadable side.
Exactly. So with the Switch, I mean, you know how you take off the two side controllers off, and you can use those as two controllers,
or even controller,
right? Like, or you've got the Pro controller, looks cool. So it really depends on, like everything else, it depends on the games. But that would be a great system for me because I've often said, you know, with my 3DS, I'd love to be able to come home, you know, plug it into something and play the game on my big screen, and then take it off and go. Now I know there's a guy in Japan you can ship your stuff to and do something similar.
It's fascinating to me. Like, as you said, it's intrigued me towards Nintendo. The last time I was intrigued was GameCube, because I was a hardcore N64 user. I loved that system. I still own a lot of the quote-unquote essential N64 games, even though I haven't plugged that system in over a decade or 15 years even. And I bought the GameCube because that was the next digital step towards disc-based games. And GameCube had good stuff, but it was way underpowered than what was out there in the market at that time. And so I remember selling my GameCube off after a year of owning it. And didn't care for the Wii. Didn't care for the Wii U. I never got into the Game Boys or the Game Boy Advance or even the DS, any of those. I never got into that. I have no problem with them. It's just I'm not a portable gamer type, on the go type. But this one could change it for me, because if you can actually have a full-fledged console game that's visually stunning, because when they do the renders for the new Zelda coming up,
oh yeah,
I was like, amazing. I'm in for that, because I was ready to dismiss the Wii U, even though they were showing the Zelda trailers last year. I was like, I'm probably never going to get to play it because I don't want to buy a system just for one game.
Right.
Yeah, it's definite game changer if they do it right. I'm so curious about the processing power, about
the NVIDIA architecture that it's using.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious how it holds up to the current generation of systems in terms of power, and how the games are. So they have a card slot. So they're going back to a card system. So is it going to be like an SD card or because that stuff is expensive as it is, and games nowadays are 20 to 40 gig sizes. How are they going to fit that into a cartridge while keeping costs down too?
I think they're using. I'm not sure, but I think they're still using a cartridge system.
Yeah,
Because the 3DS has a cartridge system, and then you have an SD card to hold either your digital games or your saves with the SD card.
yeah, but I know they're doing cartridge system, but that's what I meant. Like just a cartridge card based system. They're not doing a disc based system, or they're not primarily relying on a digital download system either, even though that's probably the logical next step. But where do you store stuff? Like how much internal storage is there?
Right.
So there's a lot of questions there. And with all the technology, if they're trying to cram all that in there for it being portable and then also plug into a dock for your TV home use, what are the costs we're looking at?
Man, they can't price this thing over $299. If they price it $300, if they price it $350 or more, and it's not.
But if it's doing everything you want it to, like, and the power is there, and the display, the portable display, which is pretty big, it's actually a solid display system. If that's good and it gives you the capability for it to be a plug-in video game system too, wouldn't you want to pay? Like, what would you be willing to pay up to? Myself, if it delivers on all fronts that I require out of a video game system of what they're trying to do, I'm willing to pay up to $500.
Okay, maybe, but it would have to be top of the line and like substantially more powerful than the PS4 and Xbox One. But I mean, Nintendo probably isn't going to go that route where, you know, they're trying to beat them on power. And their market right now, part of the reason you and I don't play a lot of their games is because, I mean, they have some cool stuff, but a lot of their stuff is, the reason I stopped messing with Nintendo is it was rehashes of Mario, rehashes of Metroid, and they didn't. There wasn't new game. It wasn't. Yeah, they didn't innovate. It wasn't like when I play a game. I've probably mentioned this before. I want to be swept into a world. Mario, game to me. Metroid always feels like a video game. Now Zelda, they've done a little better with world building, but even still, I mean, you have the silent protagonist.
It feels like a video game. We talked about this a few episodes ago.
Yes, silent protagonist doesn't bother me, but you have a couple towns, NPCs that don't talk. It doesn't feel like a world, so it still feels like, you know, early NES, Super NES video games where it still feels like a video game. And so
where you're collecting floating coins and stuff like that, where that was the main problem I had with that new game that I don't think anybody's played, is called Recore. It looked like a Nintendo video game. It just looked like a traditional video game based gameplay.
Exactly. And like I said, they haven't. If Nintendo elevates their game, then they have a possibility. But right now, their market it's skewed very young. So the price point, because that is their current market, would need to be lowered to bring, one, to get their core market in, two, to possibly entice people like us who wouldn't look at Nintendo and be like, hey, that system's not that expensive and some of these games look cool if they have good third-party supporters and if they have, you know, some different types of games.
That list of companies that are supporting it, it's pretty impressive.
They always have that. The
president's really excited about it too.
They had that same list for the Wii and Wii U, but then once the consoles didn't sell, of course, you know, those guys shelved.
Well, they sold it, but the market studies showed that they just sat there at homes. They weren't being used.
Well, that was the Wii. The Wii U hasn't. The Wii sold a lot. The Wii U hasn't sold a whole lot. I mean, the Wii sold systems, but everybody was all they were using were the games that came with the system. like the Wii bowling and sports and all that, they weren't buying games. So,
And I had the assumption that it's a pretty powerful system because the Unreal Engine 4 is has been slated to be compatible with it, which is a pretty powerful system, gaming engine. So I'm just curious. The part I can't wrap my head around is the storage side. What is there internal storage? Is like, and if it's the cartridge slash cartridge system, these things can get expensive, man.
you're right.
And so I'm so
But I mean, it's supposed to come out in March of 2017. So I'm expecting
yeah.
by January, we're going to know everything.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
if we don't know everything by January, then they've messed up. Because
I think we'll know everything by before Christmas season.
probably,
Because they have to do pre-orders and everything.
yeah. You know, I like that it's a home
I like the
console and
possibilities.
portable system. Huh?
I like the possibilities.
I do like the possibilities, but like everything else, Nintendo, I need some games. So, and when they say, "Oh, we have games, we have the Mario and the Metroid," no, y'all need to get some new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you know, if you make a Zelda, this is probably the closest Zelda's going to get to Elder Scrolls, but it looks cool. This Zelda looks cool, so I'm interested because you know they've gone open world and you know the different ways you can play and the things you could do. So
Yeah, dude. I was excited because if it's like a full-fledged console power gaming system and it's portable, and me being a subway commuter, I was like, this is a game changer for me. I can literally play games on the subway now.
yeah, you'd have to watch your system now down in the subway. So you somebody runs by and snatch it from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
So did you end up switching to other stuff than video games? Did you end up watching Luke Cage?
I'm into I'm through episode 5, so I still
Okay. You're halfway through. All right.
I'm digging it.
We'll talk about that next time.
Walking Dead is tonight. Next episode of Westworld is tonight. I'm
I know.
watching both.
Well, so did you end up watching Westworld because you hadn't watched it last week?
Yes, I've watched last week's episode. I'm all caught up. I still have more questions than answers about that show. Like, I don't know what the overarching goal is. You know, like when you're watching Game of Thrones, you know, basically you've got a bunch of royal bloodlines vying for the throne. With Westworld, I don't know what the end game is. I don't know what the overarching.
Oh yeah, dude. They really haven't made that clear, and you would think episode 3 I would have an idea what the conflict is, other than the AI remember their past programmings.
Right.
And aware of that.
Right, and I'm understanding that, but that's you said it exactly right. I don't know what the main conflict is.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm intrigued. I can't like stop watching every single second of it. It's so well done. It's just I need to be told why the story is there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm excited about The Walking Dead. I was actually gonna dress up as Negan for Halloween, but
that's it. What are we looking forward to in the next couple months?
I am just looking forward to more Switch details. That's pretty much it. Other than that, what about you?
Watch Dogs 2 on November 11th.
Oh shit, that's right.
I know Dishonored 2 is coming out, but I still have to finish my first one on my PC.
This is true. I forgot about that. I saw an ad for that. That looks pretty rad.
Final Fantasy 15 at the end of November, which has been getting a lot of good pre-reviews because Final Fantasy it indulged in the greatness that it once was. And then all the way in March, I think either that new Mass Effect and Ghost Recon Wildlands come out.
And also the Switch does.
Exactly. So
That's an
that's
odd time for a game system release, by the way.
well, Nintendo. You know,
Actually, I remember I picked up the N64 in March. Anywho, this is Cubicles and Controllers. Umair signing off along with Lloyd. Toodles.
see you. Deuces.